Hello, and welcome back. I'm Jeff W. Ross, also known as The Man Strikes Again, or TMSA for short. And we're here today because once upon a time, James Cameron saw Dances with Wolves and Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, perhaps on the same day, and was like, hold up! But actually we're here today because James Cameron creates an immersive 3D theatrical film-going experience like no one else. We're standing out here in front of the Simi Valley REGAL IMAX in Simi Valley, California. And in case you haven't guessed it by now, yes, I'm here to see Avatar: Fire and Ash, which is 3.5 hours long. But if anybody can get me to sit in a movie theater for 3.5 hours, that anybody is Mr. James Cameron. But first, we're gonna go inside Simi Valley Target here, which, full disclosure, I've never been to before today. It'll be my first time ever going in there. It actually looks very small from here, from the outside, but it's actually massive inside. And we're gonna look and see how strong the Avatar merch game is, especially right now, while the third movie is in wide release. What I'm expecting to see is graphic t-shirts and toys, at least. So if they have those two things, we'll call that a W. If they don't have those two things, we'll call that a fail. And of course, it would make this video a lot less entertaining. Okay, so the small children section here is the first thing I found. And no Avatar anything. Not a shirt. Not a graphic tee to be found here for the children. Maybe the kids aren't into Avatar. I don't know. More children size graphic tees. Also no Avatar, nothing. And here is the adult size graphic tees section. These are the ones that I'd be buying for myself or have been known to buy in the past. And again, no Avatar, nothing. Am I just out of my head for thinking this was going to be here? A lot of Star Wars. We know everybody loves the Star Wars. No Avatar. None. Zero. Can't believe it. Now we're in the action figure aisle where... Wait. No, that's How to Train Your Dragon. I thought that was one of those birds that the Navi fly on. Anyway, nothing. Not a damn single... Do they not have toys? I mean, I don't collect these kind of toys. I collect 80s and 90s toys. If you watch this channel, you're well aware. But still, with a franchise movie usually comes a line of action figures and play sets for the kids. Where is it? Not here. Here we are in the Lego aisle. As you can see, I'm not a fan of Legos myself. I was when I was a kid. I don't care about them now. They also didn't have franchise Legos when I was coming up. They didn't have like Jaws scenes and stuff like you're looking at right now. And again, no Avatar anything. Do Avatar toys not exist? I refuse to believe that they don't exist. Toys in here, and you can see they're franchise labeled, right? But again, nothing, and more nothing. Plenty of Star Wars. Here's something I recognize from my childhood. They must have been selling the same Bart Simpson doll for 30, almost 40 years. I might have had this when I was a kid. You know, because Bart Simpson and I, in 1989, we were both 9 years old. Now I'm almost 46 and he's still 9. What happened? Me, Kevin McAllister, Bart Simpson, we were all 10 at the same time. Only one of us grew up. Can you guess who it was? Anyway, there's a Bart Simpson doll. Not an Avatar. Okay, look, you see this Stranger Things merch section here, which is looking more pillaged than a collapsed upside down. This is what I expected to see for Avatar, but I don't. And you know, looks like a lot of this merch sold already because Stranger Things is huge. It's huge. It went off TV forever. This is actually pretty cool. This I would wear because it looks like some random abstract thing you get from a vintage store 20 years after nobody cares. but it's a Stranger Things reference, right? This is dope. But I didn't come here for Stranger Things merch. I came here for Avatar. And of course, we cannot forget Target's collector spot. This is a Target iconic thing here that Target does, where they put the more like the stuff that adults will buy, like this talking Krusty doll. I don't know what that sound was. I mean, that's pretty cool. Funko Pop, but no effing Stranger Things. What is going on? Okay, I have now scoured this store top to bottom. I just didn't record all of it because it would be boring to watch. But, you know, I can tell you with fair certainty, there is nothing. Not a backpack, not a Pop-Tart, not a book bag, not a children's book, not toothpaste, nothing in this entire store has Avatar on it. Maybe they made an exclusive deal with Walmart. Avatar's blue, Walmart's blue. I'm wearing a blue sweater to do it like that. Maybe that's why. Possibility. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jeff, why don't you just go look at Walmart? That's a great question, but I'll tell you why. Because there's no Walmart in Simi Valley. So that's going to be the end of that. Apparently, the in-person box office is now just a total thing of the past. And this has been discussed in other videos on this YouTube channel before, but still, as a child of the 80s and 90s, it just makes me sad, okay? Am I allowed to have my feelings? Because I have them. Look, I finally found something with Avatar on it. The damn IMAX poster for Avatar at the theater. I feel like I shouldn't have had to go through this much to see this, but it is a really large poster. I'm 6 foot tall, this poster's a good foot tall higher than me. Then again, it's up off the ground. Anyway, there it is. I don't even know what character that is. I don't think that's one of the main characters from the other movies. There's nobody in the theater but me at all. I may have the entire screening to myself. Not that I mind. The kid, look at my hair. The kid up front asked me, was I seeing 3D or IMAX 3D? I said IMAX, and he gave me these. And I was like, is there a difference? And he said yes. So apparently I got the creme de la creme, baby. I just gotta put them on. They fit right over my glasses. I was worried they weren't going to, but they do. Now that the 3 hours and 15 minutes is over, I have a real problem trying to recap these movies when I come out in the theater because I don't want to spoil it. Obviously, I'm a nice guy, unlike most of the rest of the internet. I do have a bit of a confession to make, which is that I only saw the second Avatar in the theaters one time. But I've seen the original Avatar probably more than 5 times, but it came out a long time ago. And the second one I only saw once, and I watched a couple recap videos on YouTube. And then as soon as the movie started, I regretted it. I was like, I should have rewatched the second movie. But on an action scale, I think this one was the best. And on an effects scale, I also think this one was the best. It's crazy to think all those visual effects, like it was just the actors and they're in the studio, the water, the rocks, the trees. It looks very real. It looks very, you can't tell anymore. You really can't. So this is my spoiler-free summary. I think this series really works as a trilogy. And honestly, I should probably buy like a box set of something and watch it all again. Except it's not quite the same at home when you don't have the 3D. You can get the 3D, but that's complicated. Anyway, I'm Jeff W. Roche. This has been my vlog, screening, and thoughts on Avatar, Fire and Ash. On the internet, I call myself the Man Strikes Again. And I thank you so much for joining me today and tonight, because it's night now.